Can I be honest with you about something? There are so many women who want more. More peace, more clarity, more of the life they know they were made for. And they are working for it, praying for it, pushing toward it. But they are doing all of that with wounds they have never actually healed. They are building new relationships on top of unresolved pain. They are slipping into new opportunities while carrying old beliefs about what they deserve. They are asking God for more while still living from the version of themselves that the world or the wound created. And what I've come to understand is this: you cannot step fully into who you are becoming if you are still bleeding from where you've been. So today we are going to talk about healing, the real kind, the kind many of us have been avoiding. And I promise you, this conversation is worth staying for. Greetings, beautiful women. Welcome to She Is Her. This is a space where we talk about identity, healing, and the journey of becoming the woman God created you to be. And I want to start today by saying something important. Healing is not a weakness. It is not falling apart. It is not going backwards. Healing is actually one of the most courageous things a woman can choose. I'll be honest with you. There are seasons in my own life where I confused moving on with healing. I kept going. I kept functioning. I kept showing up, but I hadn't actually dealt with what I was carrying. And it wasn't until things started surfacing in ways I couldn't ignore that I finally had to stop and ask myself, have I actually healed from this? Or have I just learned to carry it more quietly? And that question changed everything. Because just because you moved on does not mean you healed. God heals before He elevates. Because if He gives you more while you are still wounded, you may mishandle what you prayed for. Think about it for a moment. The promotion you prayed for, handled by a woman who still believes she's not enough. The relationship you prayed for, entered by a woman who still expects to be abandoned. The platform you prayed for, given to a woman who still needs external validation to feel like she has value. God is not withholding from you. He's preparing you. Healing is not delay. Healing is preparation. I want to talk about something that I think holds so many women back. And that is the confusion between surviving and healing. Because from the outside, they can look exactly the same. The woman who has survived looks put together. She's functional. She's capable. She gets things done. She has moved past what happens to her, or so it appears. But surviving means you made it through. Healing means you dealt with what it did to you. And those are two completely different things. Let me be direct with you. Many of us are not healed. We are just used to the pain. We have adapted to it so well that it no longer feels like pain. It just feels like us. It feels like I'm just not a trusting person. It feels like I just do not need people. It feels like I'm just not emotional. It feels like I just prefer to be alone. But what if those things are not personality traits? What if there are protection strategies that were so effective for so long that you forgot there were strategies at all? Surviving says, I made it. Healing says, I have dealt with what making it cost to me. And there is a profound difference between a woman who has survived her story and a woman who has healed from it. One is still being shaped by what happened. The other has been transformed by it. That is the difference healing makes. And that is why it is not optional. I want to paint some pictures for you because sometimes the most helpful thing is to see what unhealed pain actually looks like in real life. So I'm going to tell you different stories. Story number 1. Think about the woman who keeps choosing the same kind of relationship. Different person, different face, different name, but the same dynamic. The same push and pull. The same feeling of not quite being chosen. And yet she wonders what is wrong with her. Why does this keep happening to her? But the question is not what is wrong with her. The question is what wound is still making these relationships feel familiar? Because we do not always choose what is good for us. We choose what feels like home. And if home was painful, pain can feel like love. Healing changes what feels familiar. Story number 2. Think about the woman who cannot receive a compliment. Someone tells her she did something well. And instead of receiving it, she deflects. She minimizes. She explains it away. Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. I still have so much to work on. And people think she's humble. But what is actually happening is that her sense of worth has not caught up with what she has achieved. She can perform at a high level and still not believe she deserves to be there. That is not humility. That is an unhealed identity wound running quietly in the background. Story number 3. There's a woman who is angry. Not loudly, not obviously, but there's an edge to her. A quickness to shut down. A wall that goes up the moment someone gets too close. And people call her difficult. But what they do not see is that her anger is standing guard over a wound she has never been safe enough to show. Her anger is not her character. It is a protection. These are not extreme stories. These are everyday women. Women who are doing their best. Women who are showing up every day. But women who are still being quietly governed by something they have never fully healed from. And the invitation of healing is simply this. You do not have to keep living from that place. I think one of the reasons women avoid healing is because they do not know what it actually looks like. Quite frankly. They imagine it means breaking down completely or going back through every painful memory in detail or being so fragile that they cannot function. But that is not healing, or that is not how healing looks like most of the time. Most of the time, healing looks very quiet from the outside. Healing looks like noticing your reaction before you act on it. Someone says something that triggers you, and instead of immediately responding from that triggered place, you pause. You ask yourself, why did that land so hard? What is this actually about? That pause, that is healing. Healing looks like choosing truth over familiarity. The familiar thing is to pull away when someone gets close. The healing thing is to stay present and let yourself be known. The familiar thing is to say yes when you mean no. The healing thing is to honor what you actually feel. Healing looks like grieving what you never allowed yourself to grieve. Not performing grief, not manufacturing emotion, but sitting quietly with the honest weight of something that genuinely hurt you. And letting yourself feel it without rushing to resolution. Healing looks like updating the story you tell about yourself. From I'm too much to I'm exactly who I was created to be. From people always leave to the right people stay. From I have to earn my place to I belong here. These are not affirmations you say in a mirror. These are truths you practice living from. Slowly, imperfectly, consistently. This is what healing looks like day to day. Not a dramatic before and after, but a slow, faithful returning to yourself. I want to pause for a moment. Because if you have made it this far into this video, I do not think it is by accident. Something in this conversation is finding you. Maybe it is confirming something you already knew. Maybe it is naming something you have been carrying but could not quite articulate. Maybe it is the first time someone has sat with you in this particular truth. And I just want to say, wherever you are in this journey, you are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. Healing is available to you right now, in this season, exactly as you are. Not the version of you that has it together, not the version of you that has already done the work. You, right now, as you are. I want to talk about what healing looks like spiritually. Because I think sometimes we separate the two, the emotional work and the spiritual work, when really they are happening at the same time. Here's what I come to understand about how God works or how God heals. He does not heal from the outside in. He heals from the inside out. He does not fix your circumstances first and hope that changes how you see yourself. He goes to the root, to the belief, to the wound, to the place where the wrong story about who you are first took hold. And he is gentle there. He does not rip things out. He does not force you to confront more than you can bear in a single moment. He is very patient. He is consistent. He works in the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments you least expect. But here is what he requires from us in return. Honesty. Not performance. Not the right words in the right order. Just honesty. David in the Psalms did not come to God with polished prayers. He came with his actual feelings. His anger, his confusion, his grief, his doubt. And God met him there. Because God is not intimidated by what you feel. He is waiting for you to stop hiding it. And then there is surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is releasing your grip on the version of the story you have been holding. The story that says, this is just how I am. The story that says, this is what I deserve. The story that says, God can heal other people, but maybe not this, not me. Surrender is opening your hands and saying, I don't want to carry this anymore. I don't fully know how to put it down, but I'm willing. And willing is enough to begin. And finally, community. God designed us to heal in relationship, not just in private prayer, not just in journaling, in safe, honest, trustworthy communities. Healing happens when you are finally able to say out loud what you have only ever said to yourself and have someone receive it with care. That is part of how God heals, through people who are safe enough to hold your story. So I want to close today's conversation with something practical. Because I know that for some women, the question sitting underneath everything I've said is, okay, but where do I actually start? So let me give you 5 real places to begin. The first one, name what you are carrying. Name what you are carrying. You cannot heal from what you will not acknowledge. Not to the world, not on social media, just to yourself, in private. Sit with a piece of paper and finish the sentence. Something I have never fully healed from is da 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 da. Just name it. That is step 1. It is smaller than it sounds and more powerful than you expect. The second one, give yourself permission to feel it. Not to relive it, not to be consumed by it, but to stop pretending it did not hurt. Sit with what it actually felt like. The confusion, the grief, the anger, the disappointment. Feel it without judging yourself for feeling it, without rushing the lesson, without making yourself feel better before you have actually felt it. The third one is identify the belief the wound created. Every wound leaves a belief behind, a conclusion your mind drew about yourself, about others, or about the world. Ask yourself, what did I decide about myself because of this? What did I decide about people? What did I decide about what I deserve? Name the belief, because it's likely running your life right now without you realizing it. The fourth one is challenge the belief with truth. Not toxic positivity, not pretending the wound did not happen, but asking, is this belief actually true? Or is it true that this is what the wound taught me to believe? And then bring it to God. Ask Him, what do you say about this? What is actually true about who I am? And then stay quiet long enough to receive the answer. And the fifth one is get support. Healing was not designed to be done entirely alone. That might look like therapy. It might look like a trusted mentor or spiritual leader. It might look like a safe community of women who are also committed to the work of becoming whole. Whatever it looks like for you, reach for it. Asking for support is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is what whole women do. Name it, feel it, identify the belief, challenge it with truth, and get support. Those are the 5 steps. Not linear, not perfect, but a real place to begin. So before we close, I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with it for a moment. What are you still carrying that you have been calling strength, but is actually unhealed pain? Maybe it is a loss you never properly grieved. Maybe it is a relationship that shaped how you see yourself in ways you are only beginning to understand. Maybe it is a season you told yourself you were over, but it still rises up when you least expect it. Maybe it is the simple, honest exhaustion of a woman who has been strong for so long. She has forgotten what it feels like to rest. Whatever it is, you don't have to have it resolved right now. You do not have to walk away from this conversation fully healed. But I want you to walk away willing to stop pretending, willing to begin, willing to let God into the places you've been managing on your own. Because willing is where healing starts. Healing is one of the most courageous decisions you will ever make, because it asks you to stop running, to stop performing, to stop managing, and to finally face yourself with honesty and with grace. It is not a single moment. It is a direction, a daily choosing to move towards wholeness. Even on the days when wholeness still feels far away, you deserve to live as a whole woman. Not just a strong one, not just a surviving one, not just a functioning one, a healed one, a whole one, a woman who's no longer being quietly governed by what she has been through. That woman is who she is, her is for. And I believe she's already within you, waiting, patient, ready. She is her. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to know that I did not take that lightly. This was a deep conversation, and the fact that you stayed means something is stirring in you. Do not ignore it. Please do subscribe to the channel, because we are going much deeper into healing, identity, and becoming. And this is exactly the kind of conversation we will keep having. Leave a comment below. Tell me, what is one area of your life where you know healing is needed? You do not have to go into detail, even just one word. Just put it somewhere outside of yourself, because naming it is the beginning of releasing it. And if this video helped you, share it with a woman in your life who you know is carrying something she has never named. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for each other is simply say, "Here, this is for you." I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed. Thank you.